The SWIFT program, I can say, has created a number of impacts because most of the projects that we did under SWIFT are functioning up to now, and they've really helped so many communities. Right now, they're able to get a lot of water without any problem. And at first, when we had got a lot of stress in those communities, right now they've been addressed. Now they are enjoying water and their lives have really changed. The partners we worked with were, one of them was the county government. We also worked with the local, the water service providers. We had to really do a lot of trainings to these communities and to these people that are running the water companies, to ensure that we equip with the necessary skills to run these systems. And those are some of the reasons why these systems are working up to now.
They designed a project that has just made Kakuma survive and lived up to today. One, improving our water sources by powering. So the 3 boreholes we have on the ground are all solarized. So meaning we are even making production at daytime when the sun is with less cost. So that means that we reduced the cost of fuel that we used to pumping water on and on.
And to be specific on the SWIFT solarization program, it has helped so much. I believe to us and to the public, we have realized a significant savings in terms of cost. Initially, people, I said, were paying, and we're paying at a higher price. So in the areas where we have a solarization, and generally the whole concept of the company is to bring down costs, the affordable costs. So as of now, I was just making a simple calculation, might be we are selling 1 cubic meter of water at 100 shilling cubic meter, but our input cost might be about 50 shilling per cubic meter where we have the solarization system. Where we have a pure diesel generator, then the 100 is even surpassed. So we are subsidizing the other areas with the gain we get from the aided SWIFT program. It has changed our way of life seriously. And I believe it is the long-term solution to most of our problems.
With the solarization is sustainable because there's almost no cost. Only the initial cost was a problem, and the breakdown compared to the assets is fewer. The most vulnerable people, they get water now, free water, with the bond of the now solarization system.
From has improved our billing system. Initially, we used to do manually, whereby we just type and we print one copies. But since the help of Oxfam, we are now using electronic billing, whereby we sometimes after doing billing production, sometimes we send people using an SMS. So that is like one of the achievements that Oxfam has done for us.
What that program did was, Oxfam used to do direct water tracking to locations where there is a scarcity of water, and that was not sustainable, both from the Oxfam side and also from the county side. Now we think that with the inception of prepaid meters, Oxfam introduced this method of giving the money to the company, and we are topping up cards for the community. Then the community gets free water, and the money comes back to the company, and that money has saved us a lot.
SWIFT also was, it had this model of financing where we were talking about outcomes. So in a way, it's still suiting well with what our current strategy is looking at. What we've moved away from is looking at implementation in terms of infrastructure investments, particularly in development work. Though we give minimal support during emergency response. As Oxfam, when we are having our reflective meeting, we looked at how best we could support the county governments to achieve the greatest impact. And we realized that is not just in sinking boreholes alone. With the changing climate and all that, we have the threat of drought, presenting itself cyclically, especially like in areas like Turkana. With such chronic humanitarian emergencies, we realize that you can't be everywhere. So how do you ensure that whichever systems have been put in place would still be more sustainable to respond to emergencies like drought situations, for example? Oxfam, in partnership with the social finance and with the county government, started to think how best do we ensure that we have a system that would work harder in terms of making the monies that are put in terms of investment to work for the purpose that they are meant to, so that they're able to reach everyone, including the last mile that the county government has been struggling to reach.
Because even though the county government gets funds, we are not able to reach several areas in terms of project implementation. And that one has been a major problem in this county. And most of the NGOs we have are not also doing capital projects. Very few are doing projects, big projects, which can result into big impact in terms of water. So you will find that maybe an NGO comes and they only want to drill one borehole, they have closed shop. Maybe they want to train some 3 groups, and they have closed them.
So that is the genesis where we had the Water Outcomes Fund, where we're thinking of pulling in public resources, but also public resources from the county government, but also looking at development donors to support water service providers to deliver outcomes which are centered around sustainability, inclusion of the poorest, and just basically looking at accountability.
It's a good intention. It's a good intention of trying to create a fund which can help the county now tackle some of those issues. And because actually we realize sometimes the county can come up with the proposals because the county knows where the problems are. But the major problem has been the funding gap. Whether you know there's a problem somewhere, but you cannot do it, you cannot fix it. You don't have the funds to fix it. So that has always been the problem. So when we put ourselves this way and we see that working together, we can now identify those problems and try to get a solution of fixing it. So I think that's why we tend to think if it is handled well, it will accelerate the access to water and even the quality of water in Turkana County.